Hello and welcome to Pandora's Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Libra for the month of April 2016. Welcome everyone. As I always say, please remember to check your rising and your moon sign because that will give you more information on the energies that are available to you throughout the month. Of course, remember this is a general reading, so if you would like a private consultation with me to touch up on some more specific matters, you can do so by contacting me at pandorastarot@gmail.com. You can find that information on the box below this video, so you can really copy paste the email address from there. Let's start, Libra, with this reading right here. You have in the challenge position the Death card in reverse. Now, Death card, it's one of the most feared cards, but because it's sometimes misinterpreted. So it's not a card that represents death. It's actually a card that represents transition. Transition, almost like it's a death, kind of like from the Buddhist, where they see the death as a stage of transition into something else, right? When it's in the reverse and also coming up in your challenge, this means, Libra, that this is something you have been struggling with. I believe you're not giving yourself to the flow of life. You're trying to stop a transition, a change from actually happen, because the change that death talks about is not something sudden like the Tower card. It has to do with something that has been evolving throughout time, and now it's a time for you to let go a certain period of your life and move on to the next one. Okay, whether that means leaving a job, moving to a different place, getting out of a relationship, it is time to move on, and you have been stalling that. And what the tarot here is saying with the wheel of fortune in the center of the reading is that this is part of your destiny. This moving forward, this transitioning is part of what has to happen, okay, in your life. You need to move forward. It's almost it's like surrendering yourself to the flow of life. Okay, when the Wheel of Fortune shows up in a reading, it has to do with our things that were planned in our life that we agreed to experience upon our reincarnation. So whatever is happening that you're not willing to let go, that you're scared of, that you're not certain, that for whatever reason you're not willing to let it go, you need to. It is part of your destiny to move on to a different thing, Libra. And you have in the position of the things you cannot change the Three of Coins. The Three of Coins represents working as a team and paying attention to details and building something, planning to build something that will sustain the pass of time, because the characters here are building actually a church. So it's something that has to hold on, let's put it that way, for quite some time. And also it's interesting because the tarot is saying, okay, you need to let go and you need to move forward, but it's also saying you need to plan for the next phase of your life. Okay, you need to plan with detail. It's not just up and go. There's a process here of planning what is it that you're going to do in this next phase. Whether it's you're getting out of a relationship, okay, what is it that you're going to do? How is it that you're going to use what you have learned to improve as a human being? Whether you are launching your own business, okay, exactly what is it that you're going to do? You can't just quit your job and just move on to this new thing that you're doing with your work. If you're looking for another position, not just going on your own, but another position within a company, okay, be very specific in asking in those interviews, what is it that you're going to do, so you don't get stuck in the same thing that you're trying to leave behind. Okay, don't repeat patterns, learn them so you can move on to the next thing. And as a help, it also comes someone from the fire signs. You have the King of Wands. This is someone from it could be an Aries, could be a Leo. I usually see these cards as Leos, but you know, these are general readings. Also Sagittarius. This is someone who is very proactive, someone who gets up and do things, and also who is very, you know, it's a fiery type of personality, very creative. And I believe it could also be a woman, his advice is going to be key for you to be able to understand that it's time to move on. Because next to the King of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is the card of leaving a situation that no longer serves you. Okay, this is a situation where you have invested all of you, you have tried, and now is no longer emotionally satisfactory to you. So it's time to move on. And the King of Wands will make you understand that. Whether it is because he gives you advice and you understand that, or because this is, for example, a partner that you need to leave behind, and his attitude, this is for the minority of you because it came up in the upright, but for some small part of you, his attitude will actually create the opposite reaction in you, and you will realize that it's time to let him or her go. Okay, this could even be in terms of family, not necessarily has to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship, it could be some member of your family that you have been trying to mend things in terms of the relationship to improve it, and it just hasn't worked. Okay, and you realize, okay, it's time to move on. And this situation, which again I believe is positive for the majority of you, will change your perspective. This is what prompts you to move forward, because you have the Nine of Coins as the final card, which means having perspective, being able to look at the bigger picture. The Nine of Coins is a card I always say this is a woman with a lot of abundance, but she focuses on the falcon that can fly high and get an entire view of, you know, the entire forest, for saying it in a metaphor. She's not focusing on one tree, okay, which is what I think you're doing right now. This is why you're not letting go. But when you're able to step back and look at the entire forest, you will go like, okay, yeah, it's like an aha moment, okay. And it's also, it will, I believe it will liberate you, because this has turned into a burden. And next to the Nine of Coins, we have the Four of Swords in reverse, which also is a card for get up and move. Okay, when we see it in the upright, this is a card that represents meditation and rest and taking some time out, perhaps healing from a disease or a wound. When it's in the reverse, it's like, okay, get up and go. You need to move, okay? You need to get going. And you have the Death card telling you so. You have, in a form, the Wheel of Fortune telling you so. You have the Eight of Cups telling you to go. And you have also the Four of Swords telling you to do so. So there is actually no question here about what is it that the tarot is advising you to do. Of course, we all have free will, and those of you who have gotten readings with me know that I always say that. Just because it comes up here, it doesn't mean that it's carved on stone, but this is just another point of view that will enrich your perspective. Okay, Libra? So really, it's almost like a month for you to embrace the transition and liberate yourself. Okay, no one else can do it for you. So I hope this is helpful. I want to thank everyone who watches and likes and comments. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you next month. Take care.